Welcome to the Pittsburgh Dish. I'm your host, Doug Heilman. What's been going on at this family farm and market for over the last 40 years? This week, we get to know Triple B Farms. In the South Hills and craving that perfect sandwich, Ashley Cesaratto has just the place. And if you love summer corn and a recipe that easily goes on repeat, the Hungry Huffs share a favorite. All that ahead. Stay tuned. Thank you both so much for coming over and for being on the show. Would you take a moment to introduce yourselves to our listeners?
I'm Carolyn Beinlich, and I'm one of the owners of Triple B Farms.
I'm Ron Beinlich, and I'm also one of the owners of Triple B Farms. I'm Carolyn's husband.
Yes. And then I also understand your son and his wife are also involved in the farm. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, they're pretty much the decision makers now.
They're there right now.
Mm-hmm. So, yes, they are, holding down the fort.
I know. It's a busy time of year. If folks haven't visited Triple B Farms, could we just tell our listeners what's going on at the farm right now? What's busy? What's happening?
Well, today they're still picking, we're doing you-pick strawberries. Mm-hmm. And that includes a hayride to the strawberry patch. And the children enjoy that. That's one of their big things. They like that hayride.
Yes. Did I also see that flower picking is happening? Or
yes, that's starting tomorrow.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Always something going on. Mm-hmm. Maybe a little bit broader. If someone hasn't visited your farm, what are some of the things they would see or experience if they came to visit? One
of the most popular things is visiting our goats. The children love to visit the goats. Mm-hmm. And right now we have 8 kids, that the kids are really enjoying.
Yes, the kids like the kids.
Oh, yes, they do.
Mm-hmm. What else, Ron? What's happening right now?
What's happening right now? Well, tomorrow also we start Pick Your Own Blueberries.
Okay.
And I just wanted to comment that a visit to the farm is kind of nice for Pittsburghers because, interestingly, you're still in Allegheny County, but if you look around the farm, you'd swear you're not. It's very, very rural there. It's just a pleasant place to be.
I love it.
Sometimes what I hate to hear is, boy, you're a well-kept secret.
Oh, yeah. We don't want you to be a secret. Yeah, let's remind listeners, you're in Monongahela, PA.
Well, our address is Monongahela, PA, but we're actually outside the town of Elizabeth because Monongahela is Washington County, so it's very confusing for people.
All right, so you really are on the edge there of Allegheny County.
Yes, we're right down in the tip of Allegheny County.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how big is the farm? How many acres?
Well, the farm where the customers come is 205 acres.
Okay.
But we actually own about 390 acres.
My goodness.
In Allegheny County.
Yes.
And we farm it, seriously.
Oh, my. Can you share with us, Ron, what's in the fields right now? What are you growing? What aren't you growing, maybe?
Yes, roughly 20 crops, depending on how you count them.
Yes.
For example, are zucchinis and cucumbers the same thing? Well, they're very closely related. You might consider them the same thing or different, but just about any vegetable you can think of, plus 5 or 6 fruits, strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, peaches, apples. We grow all those.
Oh, my goodness.
Sweet corn.
Yeah. Is it sweet corn coming in right now?
Not quite.
Yeah.
We try to have it ready for the 4th of July, but Mother Nature's been a little cranky, so we're not sure it's going to be ready.
We may have it for the 4th of July, but we're not sure yet.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's temperamental. We've had a lot of rain.
Yes.
We never saw corn on my farm that we could eat till August. I think we didn't plant the right kind. But
well, the guy started under plastic to get it to come earlier.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you open all year around?
No.
Oh, what's your dark times? When do you close?
Halloween Day is always our last day.
Okay.
And then we start up again in May.
All right. And so when folks come, you have a shop and it has all of this produce amongst other wonderful things. So let's remind listeners, I think I've seen pies.
Correct.
Donuts.
Correct.
What else?
We do a lot of goods,
That's right.
Jellies. We don't make them. They're made for us by some Amish people.
Regional?
Ohio.
Yeah.
So, and some Lancaster. Yes.
Okay.
We try to stay as local as we possibly can. And we we have a toy section that's very popular because,
Of course.
yeah, the children like to take home some kind of a souvenir. So.
Oh. Now, I also understand, beyond the store, you had mentioned how the kids like the baby goats. Is it true you do some like school tours or educational programs? Is that right?
Yes, I do. Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
I make sure the children know where their food is coming from.
Right.
Because a lot of them don't anymore. In fact, adults don't know anymore.
It's true.
And so my tours are basically geared toward, I talk a lot about the bee and how the bee is important to us.
Yes.
And the bee's jobs. And then we talk about, in the springtime, I sort of gear it toward strawberries. But then in my fall field trips, we talk about how apples and pumpkins grow.
Yes. How many schools might stop by in an average season?
Well, I can't do it school-wise, but children-wise, we do about 4,000 in the spring and 4,000 in the fall.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's fun. I used to be a teacher, so that's why I enjoy it.
Oh, my goodness. I love that. Thank you for what you're doing. It is so important. I do want to go back to, when folks come to your farm, are there any other things that you're just really known for that draws people in?
Well, the buzzword is agritainment.
Oh,
so
agritainment.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a lot of fun things for families to do. We have the one area we call Pop's Barnyard, where the children can go up and jump on the jumping pillows. I mean, that's a very, very popular spot.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that spot has an in-ground board game that's kind of like Candyland.
Oh.
And we have a singing chicken show. So
I want to come see that.
it's funny.
Oh, now, did you create these areas and events yourselves?
Our son and his wife have been very, very instrumental in doing that part.
Okay.
And we study what other farms are doing all over the country.
Yes. Do you ever take field trips?
Yes.
To other?
We belong to an organization called NAFMA, which is the North American Farmers Marketing Association.
Okay.
And we have spent many winters going on their trips, and then you visit other farms. And farmers are wonderful in sharing their ideas with each other.
I'm learning.
They really are.
I'm learning so much from you right now. I don't know of this organization, and now I want to know more. How exciting. I do want to shift gears maybe a little bit and talk about the history of the farm.
Mm-hmm.
This is the full-time livelihood right now for your family. Is that right?
Correct.
Oh, yes.
And we should remind folks, you're celebrating 40 years
Correct.
this season.
Mm-hmm.
But if we rewind the clock back to the early 1980s, it wasn't the full-time thing you were doing. Ron, I understand you were in a totally different industry, right?
Yes, I was an engineer for U.S. Steel, metallurgical engineer.
Yes.
And the steel industry got very, very bad in the early 80s, and I decided to get out.
Okay.
I just, it just wasn't for me. I always did want to be a farmer, and I already owned the farm because I wanted to be a farmer.
Yes.
But I was only farming it part-time and making my living with U.S. Steel.
Okay.
But 1985, I left U.S. Steel and came home for good. At the time, I said I didn't care whether I ever went north of Elizabeth again.
Well, that's just fine by us. You guys are doing such good things. So was this farm in your family, or
No,
did you buy it?
I bought it in 1967, actually,
did?
when I got out of the Navy.
Okay.
It was an abandoned farm.
Oh, so not producing anything when you
No.
picked it up.
It was a disaster.
It was an adventure.
Overgrown. The house was abandoned, and all the windows were broken out, and the plaster was falling. The farm was absolutely a joke.
Oh, my goodness.
The bank didn't want to give him a loan.
Yeah.
Carolyn, were you in the picture yet when he
No.
bought this farm?
No. There's a story to the way we met.
Well, I'd love to hear it if you want to share.
When I was teaching school, I was teaching second grade at that point, and I had a little boy in my class named Fred. And you're not supposed to have favorites, but Fred was an outstanding student. And so I really had fond feelings for Fred. Well, I had gotten engaged to a fellow then, but 2 years later, when Fred was in fourth grade, I had broken my engagement, and I was talking to Fred out in the hall, and he went home and said to then Ron's sister, well, Miss Mueller's not getting married, so could we get Uncle Ron? And so Ron's sister had us for dinner, so that's how we met.
My goodness.
So we were introduced by a fourth grader.
Oh, my goodness. Am I following that story right? That the fourth grader was his nephew?
Nephew,
Okay.
correct.
All right.
Correct.
What a matchmaker.
And he's now an OBGYN in California.
Oh, my goodness. So he went on, he was a bright student.
Very.
And it might have been good timing that he bought the farm before you. Maybe you wouldn't have been on board with this abandoned place.
Yeah.
No.
God had a plan.
Oh, yes. And so do I understand correctly too, Ron, that you raised beef cattle for a bit on the farm?
Yes.
Is that your first
Yes.
endeavor?
Yes. Our son still has the beef herd
Okay.
on a different farm, on one of the other farms.
Okay.
Yeah, we're called Triple B Farms because we have 3 farms
3
altogether.
farms. All right. All
Yeah,
right.
and Bill and Sue live on one, and we live on one, and the other one's just some land.
Well, I mentioned to you before we started, I grew up on a farm. You guys are farming a lot more than we do, but we also still do beef. Do you sell the beef in your market?
No, we don't.
Okay.
No, we have to put in there too. Bill's son, Will, he's William Jr., but we call him Will.
Okay.
He is very involved in the beef.
Excellent.
He's going to be a junior in high school, and in fact, he's getting ready to go to Nebraska for a cattle show.
Oh my gosh, I love this. So from the first endeavor of doing some beef farming, and what was the first thing you added beyond beef? You have all these crops now.
Strawberries.
Strawberries.
Yes.
Okay, so beef, berries at the Beinlichs.
Right. That's where the Triple B came from.
Farms.
That's how it started. That's how the name started to happen.
Beef, Beinlich, and berries.
Okay.
It was Beinlich Beef and Berry Farm.
I love that too. I think Triple B is probably easier to
That's
keep
why
in my
that was
noggin.
his idea to shorten it so people would remember it. Yeah.
And since then, you've just added a little bit more every year. Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
And when our son came back after he graduated from Penn State, then we really did expand. It's because of he and Sue that we've really expanded.
And they went to Penn State. Did they study like agriculture and,
Yes.
and some farming aspects that they brought back?
They both have
animal science.
They both have
studied.
animals.
Okay.
And that's their hobby now.
Oh, yes, definitely. Oh, my gosh. Over the years, has it always been some nice, steady growth, or has there ever been any like years that was a big setback or a big learning experience?
It was very, very meager when we first started.
Okay.
So it grew and grew quite a bit at the beginning, but now we've kind of, in a way hit a plateau.
Yeah.
I think a lot of with our business is it is a family friendly farm. So we see families leave once the children grow up, especially for the entertainment part of the farming.
Yeah.
Now, in the market, though, I mean, there are still people coming that I know from when we first started.
Oh, yeah.
So, which is kind of nice. But probably the busiest year we had was the year of COVID because people were allowed to allowed to be open and people wanted to get outside.
Yes.
And we've probably stayed that level since then.
That was actually a boost for you. And I think folks also realize, at least the people that I talk with, a lot of folks are really getting into trying to stay local, knowing their farmer, right? Do you hear those?
We do.
kinds of
And
stories?
I think that's wonderful. I just think that's something that we can really build on.
Carolyn, when you met Ron and you guys got married, did you ever see farming as your future?
No.
No?
No way.
It sounds like you play a really big role now.
I do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I guess there was retail in me. When I was a little girl, my grandmother, I lived in the community of Troy Hill. You've probably heard of that.
Yes.
And my grandmother worked in a little store, and I used to think it was so much fun to go there with her and help her open up the store and everything. I used to tell my grandma I wanted my own store. So,
Aw. Well, you have it.
yeah, she got to see that. She came one time to visit and said, well, you finally got your store.
Oh, my. And you build this sense of community. And like you said, I'm sure there are some folks that have sort of grown up on your farm. Hopefully there's some kids that are now bringing their kids.
Oh, yes, we do.
Does that happen?
I just tease them all the time that they make me feel old. Yes, we've got several coming back with their kids.
Now, I don't know how much you want to talk about this, but I think Sue sent me a note. And so when I had asked the question about any like tough years or good years, I'm happy to hear that COVID was a good year for you. I think Sue mentioned to me, like in 1988, I remember a drought.
Oh, yeah.
And I understand you guys were trying to get into corn or had already started that, and it didn't go so well that year. Is that right?
Correct. That's when we made the decision to build our first pond for irrigation because we lost a good bit of the corn crop because we didn't have irrigation then.
I remember one of our fields being dust.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
It was crazy.
Yes. We got over 100 degrees that year. I don't remember it ever doing that ever again. So.
No. It's interesting to really share with people how the weather is that additional partner to all the things you're trying to do.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
Very
true.
How important is the forecast?
Oh, my. Yes.
Yes. And last year was tough, too. We have 2 irrigation ponds on the farm that people are visiting.
Okay.
And we emptied them last year.
Oh, my.
So last year was pretty tough, too.
Yeah. Hopefully they're filled back up. We've had quite a bit of rain so far.
They're overflowing now.
Oh, my goodness. Yes.
It's just the opposite this year.
Mm-hmm.
We're losing strawberries because people can't get in the field to pick.
Oh,
I don't know,
yes.
these city people are kind of funny. They don't seem to want to pick strawberries in the rain.
In mud? No. We'll get them some galoshes.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I tell everybody when they call, just wear your oldest shoes.
Yes. I think it's so much fun to actually go out and know that that's the freshest berry I could have possibly gotten.
Correct.
I picked it myself. So,
Yes.
yeah, amazing.
I'm Ron Beinlich.
I'm Carolyn Beinlich, and we're the owners of Triple B Farms. And you're listening to the Pittsburgh Dish.
Can we kind of go through seasonally about the farm? I know I asked you earlier what's going on right now with the berry picking, blueberries coming in. What does late summer start to look like? How do things change, or are there any different events happening?
Well, Sue and Bill are starting a new event on the farm in the entertainment part.
Okay.
We're having 2 movie nights
Oh.
that we are going to have a screen on the farm, and where they're showing. Unfortunately, I don't remember. One movie is called Barnyard. I forget what the other one's called.
Okay.
And then the other thing they've started is a date night
Okay.
where you can come and pick our flowers. We provide a real pretty vase for them to put them in, and it's priced per couple. And the local winery's working with us, and they get a glass of wine and a charcuterie board and can have a picnic and that kind of thing. So those 2 things are happening.
That sounds lovely.
There's one movie night each in June and July, and then a date night here in June, one in July, and I think early August.
Oh.
Unfortunately, I don't have the dates in
That's
my head.
okay. Well, we'll send them to your website. We'll mention the website before
Okay.
we're done today. And do I understand, do you also, when it's not terribly muddy like it was maybe this past week, do I also understand that you do hay rides?
Oh, yeah. The
sometimes?
hay rides are included with Pick Your Own
Okay.
when we're picking.
People love that.
Yeah. And this year, so far, so good. We have a peach crop, so we'll be doing Pick Your Own peaches too.
Oh, I might have to go down for that as
No,
well.
that's my favorite fruit.
Okay. Yeah. One of mine too.
It's my favorite.
Okay. Let's move into the fall. How do things change in the fall? What's happening? What are the big sellers or the big draws for the market then?
Pick Your Own apples and pumpkins.
Okay.
So, and there's hay rides included
Of
again.
course. I mean, I think that's like the hayride time to me in my mind.
I would say we're known the most for our pumpkin festival.
Okay.
And that is our busiest season for sure.
I do want to go back to asking then about pies, like especially I think about apple and pumpkin pie. Are you making anything at the market, or is this again maybe something that's made locally that you bring in?
We're baking pies at
You
the
are?
market. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We
So
are.
you've got a kitchen there. You're doing all
Yes,
that in-house.
we have a small kitchen.
Okay.
Mhm, we do.
And what about yourself personally, Carolyn? Are you much of a baker?
I love to bake.
Do you? Okay.
I help in the, well, I started out working in the bakery, but now we've hired bakers and I just sort of help in there now.
Of course. Supervise.
Yeah. So, but yes, I do like to work in the bakery, and we do fudge. So we make that too.
Oh
So.
my. I was looking at the website before you stopped by. I don't think the pies were on there, but if people want to order things, can they do that and have them shipped?
Sue started that actually during the COVID year. And they can do our jarred goods and our dried goods like the pancake mixes and those kind of things.
Yes. So pickles,
Correct.
jams, jellies, pancake mixes, that kind of stuff. People, if they don't have the means to get down to you, they could still enjoy some of your products, but you're giving them a lot of good reasons to go visit.
Yeah, we hope they'll come visit. I think they'll
Exactly.
be pleased if they come visit. But it is nice at Christmas time. Customers are calling and sending Christmas gifts
Oh,
too. And Sue ships apples too.
okay. So there's a few produce items
Yes.
that you can ship. Okay. So you mentioned that the market does close after Halloween time.
Correct.
Right.
Is the website still active then? People
Yes.
could still buy
Yes.
some of your products all year round?
Yes.
Okay.
We keep the jarred goods and apples as long as we have them.
Yeah.
And things like that. So yes, they can go to the website for that.
And you have apples on your farm?
Correct.
Oh,
We
yeah.
grow them.
Oh, yeah.
I forget how many varieties we have, but
What's your favorite apple for baking a pie?
mm,
Whatever's in season or?
well, some are recommended for baking and some are not.
Right. This is what I understand.
Yes, but myself, I pretty much just take whatever we have and use it. We eat what we call the not so good fruit and
Of
vegetables.
course.
So instead of throwing them away, so then I just use them for pies or whatever.
I'm
or
still
applesauce.
I'm sure they're still the best.
Yep.
Better than you can get anywhere else. I do have a question about home food then and growing up. Since food and food production is such an important part of your lives, what was food life like when you were a youngster? Ron, what about your experience?
My mom was a very good cook, and she was a farm girl.
Uh-huh.
And we had quite a garden, even though we lived in the city.
Yes.
We had quite a garden, so that's sort of in me.
Oh, very good. And what about you, Carolyn?
My grandmother was the one who taught me how to make pies.
Okay.
But my mom was a good cook too. Yeah. And back then, everybody did cook most everything from scratch.
That's right. And do you all still have fairly large family gatherings for all the holidays and picnics and things like that?
We try.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's harder with the kids even the grandkids aren't here in the area so much so, but we try to get together.
For us, that's when food really is like the important thing. We're a family of foodie people now. There's so much to do when you come down and visit. I just want to ask, is there anything I haven't asked about the farm that you'd want to mention? Do you have any other activities or upcoming events near term or even later in the year?
Well, our daughter-in-law, Sue, came up with this idea of celebrating our 40th anniversary.
Okay.
And so she is putting out feelers and whatever to invite former employees to come back and just have a reminiscent time.
Aww.
and serve. She's going to serve cupcakes, and she just wants Ron and me to sit on the porch and visit with everybody.
Okay.
I don't know. That might be hard. I don't sit for that many hours.
How many employees have worked over the years?
I couldn't even tell you.
Dozens and dozens?
Yeah.
Oh,
During October, we
hundreds.
have
Hundreds. And I thought I read somewhere was the first couple seasons, was it like high school kids helped pick some of the berries? Is that right?
Correct.
And is that
And our own children did. Bill and Becky did their share of
Oh
picking.
my goodness. So over the years, it's just been lots and lots of folks. So you're having this reunion style event. Is that right after the 4th of July?
Yes, it's that weekend
Okay.
of the 4th of July.
How lovely. Well, I hope folks come.
Yeah, I hope some of the people come back
Yeah.
just to say hi. That'd be
Super
nice.
special. Is there anything else happening?
Our major thing right now is we're having to get our customers to navigate a detour.
Oh, that's the bane of summertime construction,
Yes.
right?
I'm hoping. I talked with the state yesterday, and they're saying maybe 3 weeks.
Okay.
We're hoping.
It's still a big chunk of summer.
Yes.
So we should probably tell folks if they're coming to visit, you have some information about that on your website. Is
Correct.
that right?
Yeah, we tried to do good directions on there for people to navigate. It's really not a bad detour. It probably just adds, maybe 10 minutes
Yes.
to their time, not very much.
Okay.
And I think once people experience the detour, they won't mind it because it's a drive through the country. It's
Of
really
course.
pretty.
It's just fine. Yeah, get down there anyway. Let's do this. Let's remind our folks of a couple of details. Ron, how about you? Would you give us the address to the farm?
The address is Triple B Farms, 823 Berry Lane, like strawberry,
I love that.
Monongahela, Pennsylvania 15063.
Thank you. And Carolyn, what are the hours of the market?
Every day from 9 till 5.
Every day from 9 to 5. And let's also remind folks, if they can't get down right away, but they want to find you and follow you, what's your website address?
Triple B Farms, remember the S,
Yeah.
.com.
Okay. And I looked it up beforehand too. You do a really good job on Instagram, and that's triple_B_farms on Instagram. I think it's also Triple B Farms on Facebook.
Yes, it is on Facebook. I don't know all. I'm not the techie of the family.
Somebody is. There's a really good social media presence for your farm. I was looking it up.
Sue works with all that. Sue does our advertising, but she is working with some people too that have helped her to do it. But Sue does a good job.
Well, she is. She's doing a great job. All right, folks. I always like to ask our guests a final question. The name of the show is The Pittsburgh Dish. What's the best dish you've had to eat this past week?
You know, this time of year, we're kind of eating what's ever in the refrigerator because we're so busy. Or he'll say, where am I going tonight for dinner? So I don't know.
Carolyn made an excellent pasta dish. Now, what did you call that?
Oh, it's actually a pasta. We're selling some flavored pastas in the market.
Okay.
So there was one that was lemon linguine.
Oh.
So I followed the recipe on the back.
Okay.
Because the company is providing recipes, and it was really good. It was lemon flavored pasta with a olive oil and lemon dressing, cherry tomatoes and black olives and feta cheese. That was good.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah, it was very good.
Was that your best bite this week, Ron?
Possibly, except there was another one. I won't even mention it.
I do like to cook.
Well, that's good. I want to thank you both so much for your time, for making the trip up here today. And thank you for being on the Pittsburgh Dish.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Very welcome. Thank you for having us.
Up next, if you're craving that perfect sandwich and happen to be in the South Hills area, our friend Ashley Cesaratto has a place. Hey everybody, we're joined today with Ashley Cesaratto, who manages the popular Facebook group Pittsburgh Foodies. Ashley, I've seen you putting a lot of things up on that Facebook group lately. I was wondering if you've had any new, lunch spots or grab and go places that really were of note for you.
Yeah, absolutely. We were in the South Hills lately and wanted to stop someplace for a quick lunch. And I'd been seeing Family Deli in Bethel Park on my feed a lot. So we stopped there and got a couple sandwiches, one hot sandwich, one cold sandwich, and a couple sides. And these sandwiches were so big and just so packed with meat and fillings and amazingly delicious.
I saw this post and it is like truly, it's the sandwich you want to have. It's like so robust.
Absolutely. And we each got a sandwich, but we ended up sharing one and taking another one home to eat for lunch the next day. They are just that big.
Oh, wow. So this is like a good lunchtime grab and go kind of place.
Yeah, for sure. They have hot sandwiches, cold sandwiches, hot sides, cold sides. We got onion rings, which could feed 4 people as a side. And you can grab things from their cooler as well. They have lots of cheese and deli items. They have some baked goods as well.
And we're talking about Family Deli in Bethel Park. This is more of a daytime place. They're open till about 4 p.m. on most days.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Ashley.
Sure. Thank you.
You can follow Ashley on Instagram at eatingwithashley.pgh. Since the Beinlichs mentioned that they might have corn in early July, it got me thinking about a conversation I had with Alex and Chantal Huff of the Hungry Huffs. Let's have a listen. So Alex, Chantal, I know that you are always going out to eat, but I was wondering, do you guys like to cook at home?
We do. We definitely love to cook.
And do you have a favorite dish or two that you like to make?
Yes. So there's actually a YouTube channel. The guy's account is Not Another Cooking Show. Oh. And he has this dish that we both make all the time. And it's the perfect dish for summer or the end of summer. It's a corn pesto pasta with crispy prosciutto. It's out of this world. It's a super easy dish to make, actually. And the tutorial or the video from Not Another Cooking Show shows how to make it the best way. But it's something a little different. It's a good spin on pesto with adding in the sweet corn.
I love the idea of the fresh corn, and I am over the top on that idea of anything with a crispy prosciutto.
It works perfect because it can be both vegetarian or non-vegetarian with the crispy prosciutto. So if someone wants to eat vegetarian, ignore the crispy prosciutto, but that might be the best part.
It might be the best part. Corn in pesto is an amazing addition. It makes it a little sweet, which is just incredible. Recommend it to everybody. And honestly, anyone we've made it for turns around and makes it over and over and over again for their families.
And it's over a pasta?
Yes, it's over a pasta. We use the originated pasta.
Oh, the little ears. Yeah. Oh, that sounds terrific. So it would catch like the corn and the little crispy bits of prosciutto. Mm-hmm. Oh, sounds so good.
We've done pancetta before, though, and that was also good. Can confirm.
Alex, Chantal, thank you so much for being on the Pittsburgh Dish.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
You can follow Chantal and Alex on Instagram at Hungry Huffs. And we'll put a link to that recipe tutorial that Alex mentioned on our blog. Do you have a recipe? Share it with us. Just visit our website at www.pittsburghdish.com and look for our Share a Recipe form. If you enjoyed the show, consider buying us a coffee for this episode or supporting the show monthly. You can find links to those options at the bottom of our show description. And if you want to follow my own food adventures, you can find me on social media at Doug Cooking. That's our show for this week. Thanks again to all of our guests and contributors, and to Kevin Selecki of Carnegie Accordion Company for providing the music to our show. We'll be back again next week with another fresh episode. Stay tuned.